Welcome back.
Only 3% of you are subscribed. If you enjoy the content, hit that subscribe button. It's free and it really helps the channel grow.
Every year, millions of Muslims across the globe celebrate Milad un-Nabi, the birth of the Prophet Muhammad. It's a day of joyous processions, prayer, and charity. But what if I told you that the huge public festival we know today wasn't started by the Prophet's companions or the early caliphs? The tradition of large-scale, state-sponsored celebrations was kick-started nearly 500 years later by a forgotten empire, and one of its primary motives was power. This is the secret history of how a calculated political move helped create one of Islam's biggest parties. To get what was going on, we have to rewind to the 11th century. The Islamic world was essentially in a Cold War. In Baghdad, the powerful Sunni Abbasid Caliphate was the established superpower, the custodians of tradition. But out west, a new challenger had emerged. Rising from an underground movement, the Fatimid dynasty had conquered Egypt and set up a rival caliphate in their glittering new capital, Cairo. The Fatimids were Shia Ismaili Muslims, and they had a bold claim. They insisted they were the true leaders of Islam, descended directly from the Prophet Muhammad through his daughter Fatima. To the Abbasids, this was pure heresy. A war for the soul of Islam had begun. The Fatimids were a minority sect ruling a majority Sunni population. They knew military might wasn't enough. They had to win the hearts and minds of the people, and they needed to prove their sacred lineage in a way no one could ignore. So, how do you legitimize your rule when your rivals control the narrative? You put on a better show. While some early Muslims had held smaller, more private sessions to honor the Prophet's birth, the Fatimids saw an opportunity to go big. They established a series of lavish, state-sponsored public festivals, or maulids, not just for the Prophet, but for key members of their own family, including the ruling caliph. These were not quiet affairs. The Fatimid Maulid celebrations were grand spectacles designed to awe the public. Imagine magnificent processions filing through the streets of Cairo, the air filled with poetry praising the Prophet's lineage, a lineage the Fatimids claimed as their very own. The caliph would hold court, handing out robes of honor, gifts, and huge amounts of food and sweets to the public. It was a masterclass in soft power. By creating a culture of celebration centered on the Prophet's family, the Fatimids were cementing their own authority and linking their rule to the divine in the public's imagination. If you're fascinated by how history is shaped by more than just battles and treaties, take a moment to subscribe. We uncover the hidden stories behind the world you think you know. The Fatimid Caliphate eventually fell in the 12th century, but their creation was too popular to disappear. When the famous Sunni Ayyubid dynasty took over, they initially suppressed the Fatimid festivals. However, the idea of the Maulid had taken root. In a brilliant reversal, it was a later Ayyubid ruler, Al-Malik al-Muzaffar, who is credited with reviving and popularizing the festival in the early 13th century, this time to rally the Sunni world. The Fatimids' political tool was now being used to unite their former subjects against new threats. From there, the celebration spread across the Islamic world. It was declared an official holiday by the Ottoman Empire in 1588. Each culture added its own flavor. In Pakistan and India, it's marked with massive, vibrant processions. In Egypt, large gatherings of remembrance echo traditions stretching back centuries. And in Morocco, it's a time for religious lectures and traditional music. What started as a court-centered event in Cairo became a truly global phenomenon. Of course, it's worth noting that to this day, some Islamic scholars and communities debate the religious legitimacy of the celebration, adding another complex layer to its history. So, one of the most widespread celebrations in the Muslim world owes much of its scale and grandeur to a forgotten empire's quest for power. The Fatimids, in their struggle for legitimacy, took a nascent tradition and transformed it into a powerful public spectacle that would outlive their own dynasty by centuries. It's a potent reminder that history is rarely simple. Traditions we see as purely religious often have surprising and deeply political origins, woven into the fabric of faith by the hands of power. The line between piety and politics is often blurrier than we imagine.
Whispers soft in the sky, lanterns flicker, their glow won't lie. 1,000 prayers rise with a breeze. In this moment, hearts find their peace. Oh, light of the prophet shines so true, guiding the old, guiding the new. In your name, love overflows. Oh, light of the prophet, the whole world knows.
Subscribe now and comment below. I'll shout out one subscriber in the next video.